As I've been introduced, my name is Monica. The project that we have, we call it Partnership for Employment, Demand-Driven, Employer-Led. Why are we saying that? We're saying that because it is the employers that are driving this whole project. It is not the college, it is not the Department of Education, it is not CHITA, but it is the employers. And the employers are the ones that are saying, we have shortages of skills in A, B, C, and D, and we want learners to be trained in these particular skills. And as a college, we are then training them according to what the employers need. And also, the way the project is done, it is according to what the requirements of the employers. And as Aisha have said, we have a partnership with about 25 or 27 employers who we've signed MOUs with, and they've been part of the process from the beginning. The discussions, the negotiations, and the whole planning of the whole project was done with the employers as part of it. Hence, it's called Demand-Driven, Employer-Led. Okay? Background information. The project is divided into threefold. But first, CHITA did the skills analysis, okay? And they identified the skills that the industries need. And in those skills, they identified the area where those industries are, and they, fortunately for us, were identified as a college of choice because we're closer to where the industries are. And we partnered with them, we had meetings, we had steercom meetings and all of those things. The three parts or the three categories of the project. One is the training of the chemical operators. And in that training of the chemical operators, they are not only trained using the unit standards or the learnership program, but we've linked it with NATED, the reports 191, N12, and 3. Why are we doing that? The employer said it's not enough to have the learners qualified within the learnership program, but we also want them to have maths, we want them to have drawing, we want them to have plant operations, we want them to have, you know, the NATED subjects or the NATED qualifications. So we combined the two qualifications, which is why Aisha was saying, the department needs to look at that and see how we can combine the two qualifications, because these learners will end up with two qualifications, but which are required by the employers at the end of the day. So this is what we looked at. The second part is the training of the welders, okay, as artisans. And these welders will also be trained or are being trained, and we have two groups of these welders. Initially we had one group, but then the employer said no, the number of students that we have in that group one is not enough. We want more welders trained, and we are willing to place these learners. Hence, in 2016 we have the welders, the second group. The third category is for the work integrated learning, which is the placement of students who have done electrical engineering, the placement of students who have done engineering and related to the NCV programs, and also the placement of students who have done business studies. Okay, and all of these students are funded by CHITA. Okay, the type of training that is taking place, the learners have the three streams. They get knowledge, which is the classroom training. They get practicals, which is simulated in a simulation plant at the college. And they will also get the work placement, which will be in industry. This is how the project is going on. And as you can see, I'm not going to read through, I'll just talk through that. Then that's for the chem ops. Then the second learners, it's the welding ones, okay? What brought about this whole partnership and this whole training and this whole employer-led or demand-driven project. Okay, we looked at the SIPS focal areas in KZN, and we looked at what is needed, what kind of people are needed for these SIPS projects. And according to those SIPS projects, we then decided these are the kinds of learners, or these are the kinds of people that we need trained so that they can fill up the gaps that have been identified in those SIPS projects. Okay? The proposal for the partnership project was guided by the strategic objectives of CHETA, the Sector Skills Plan, Strategic Infrastructure Project, the SIPS, National Development Plan, New Growth Path, White Paper on Post-School Education, KZN Youth Development Strategy, Industrial Policy Action Plan, NSDS 3, and chemical industry needs and skills shortages. These are the things that drove this whole partnership, and we ended up having the talks and the meetings, and hence we have these students currently. As Aisha said, before we even started, the first thing that we did was we conceptualized the whole idea and the whole project. We advertised on newspapers, and we received applications from different students or applicants from the different communities. And we received a lot, and we had our own selection. But before we could then decide on in identifying the learners that will take part in this project, we had the orientation with these learners, where industries came in and explained what it means to be a chemical plant operator, what it means to be a welder. What is it that you do? You get your hands dirty. You know, what does it entail? They came and they showcased what they do in their industries. So that what we did not want is having the learners dropping out of the project. And also not only having the orientation before we even selected them, we made sure that these learners had to go through the medical assessment, because it's not enough to train people who will not be able to be employed by these chemical industries. Because as a requirement, when you have to work in the chemical industry, you have to go through a medical assessment. Because if, let's say you have a history of asthma or a history of, or you've had TB as one of the elements that you've had, you cannot work in the chemical industry because of the type of chemicals that are being used there. So now we had to identify that and do the elimination so that we do not train people who will not be employable at the end of the day. And the purpose of all of that was to give learners the opportunity to decide if they really wanted to pursue a career in the chemical sector as chemical operators and welders. And hence the learners that we have are the ones that decided. And yes, some of the people that participated in the orientation, they dropped out and said, no, this is not for me. And some of them said, yeah, this is what I really want. And they were happy in what we showed them. These are just the pictures we took during the orientation project, where we were explaining to the learners. Okay? Then the project's development. Where are we now? The whole project, the negotiations and everything started in 2014, but the training started in 2015. Okay? And these learners, as I've said before, they are doing learnerships, NQF level 1, level 2, and level 3. Okay? And they're also doing N1, N2, and N3. So they started their training in 2015, and they're continuing with their training. For welding, they're doing level 2, level 3, and level 4. And the way we have structured, with the negotiation with the industries, understanding that when it comes to the unit standards, the learners cannot just learn theory and be assessed. They have to be placed in the workplace before their summative assessment. But the way we looked at the project that we're running at the college and with the industries said they cannot have bits and pieces of the unit standards captured or done during the program. So we then said they will start with the theory and the practicals at the college. Then the last year of their training, they will then go to industry for their work placement, which means the final summative assessment will be done at the end of their training. So we've split the two summative assessment. We've done the theory summative assessment, then at the end of the project, they will then do the final one, which would include the work placement as a requirement for a learnership program. Okay, we launched our project in 2016, and what we did for the learners, we had experts who came to the college and actually facilitated some of the learning to the students. And they showcased, even after the orientation, they facilitated and trained the learners at the college. We also took the college for a planned visit so that they can have an idea, because it's not enough for us as a college to tell them how chemical industries work and what is happening in the chemical industries. But we had to take them there so that they can see exactly what it means and listen to other plant operators and tell them what it means to be a plant operator and what is it that you do. And we had to take them through all of that experience so that they can see for themselves. So that is what we did in 2015 and also again this year in 2016. Okay, in the negotiations with the steering committee, because we are required to report, the chemical industries, they have said that the number of students that we have, initially we had 18. They said they are not enough. They would like to have more of the learners, because beginning of 2017, all of these 80 learners will have to be placed in these different chemical industries, which then means for continuity, as a college we need to enroll more students. Because when we visited the chemical industries, they told us that we have, I do not want to call them old, but we have matured plant operators who are close to retirement, and they want to employ young plant operators. And with the number of chemical industries that we have, and with the different plants that are there, they need more plant operators and more welders trained. Hence, that is why they requested us to continue with this project. And hopefully Chieta will continue funding the project. Okay, and Chem Op simulation plant, which is at the college, also funded by Chieta and the chemical industries. As a college, we did not have the expertise of designing the plant. We did not have the experience and the expertise of what equipments are required to be in that simulation plant. Hence, we visited Flavors Mareka and also the Sasol and the SubPref engineers. They are the ones that are actually, they designed the simulation plan for the college, and they're making sure that it is up to the required standard and the criteria set for a simulation plant, because it needs to simulate the actual plant operations and also process operations. Okay, we have the 24 companies. Initially, there were 24, they're now 27, because other companies, they joined in. When they heard about the project, they said, no, we want to be part of this project. It's a good project. And we now have 27 companies who have partnered with the college in this project. And we had 25 guest lecturers from industries who came to the college. We're really thankful to those guest lecturers who actually came and lectured to these learners. What we have done as a college, we have applied for this project to be a center of specialization. Hopefully, it will be one of the projects that will be approved by the department, because my understanding is they will do their approvals in 2017. So we're hoping that this project will be one of the approved projects as a center of specialization. And our main objective is to make this project or the campus where the project is, a center of excellence in providing this kind of training. Okay, and these are the chemical industries that we were visited by the students. And we were not allowed to take pictures when we visited the chemical. It's against them, but we were able to get some of the pictures from the people within the industries. Okay, we did not take the pictures, but they provided the pictures to us. Okay, but what they did allow is for us to take pictures outside or at the gate or at the entrance of the chemical industries. I think they do not want us to show their, secrets. Exactly. Okay, so these are some of the students that attended the visit. These learners, they have written their NATED exams. Okay? And I'm proud to say that initially we had 80 ChemOps learners, and 7 or 8 of these learners, okay, dropped out. But of the 8, 5 of them were employed on a permanent basis. And 3 of them said, this is not for me. So they dropped out. So we ended up with 72 learners that ended up writing the exams or participating. And these are the results. Okay? They're doing 4 subjects, which is plant operations, engineering drawing, engineering science, and maths. And the average pass rate was 94.5%. And of these learners, and as you can see, it's way above the national target or the national pass rate of the department. And we are very proud of that. And of these learners, 37 of them received distinctions. It's not only a 94.5% pass rate, but they passed with exceptional marks. Okay, these are just the learners that received distinctions. And if I go back, 2 of these learners, they passed with distinctions of all 4 subjects. And 2 of them, they received 3 distinctions on their subject. And in total, we have 37. Some received 2 distinctions and some 1 distinction. And we're very proud of these learners. And they're actually proud of themselves because of their achievements. And since they've completed level 1, they are about to be certified. They're now doing level 2, and they've written their N2 exams. We've received their results. Unfortunately, the results for drawing, we have not received the results for drawing throughout the country, so we're still waiting for those results, but they've written their N2, and they've done well even in their 3 subjects that they've done. Now, the benefits for this partnership project. SITA College Industry Partnership for the benefit of the students. We have the students at the center. It's not about the college, it's not about the industry, it's not about JET, it's about the learners. It's about these students, and it's about their communities. Because what we've looked at is, when we were selecting these learners, the criteria was, we looked at the unemployed youth, so that we can improve the economy of the country. Now, by getting these learners employed on a permanent basis and by getting them skilled, we are contributing towards the improvement of the economy of the country. Okay? So, upskilling of coastal TVET college lecturers. These lecturers have been to industry also because they need the skills. It's not enough for them to have the qualification. How long have they had that qualification? And what changes have been there in industry? So we needed to expose these lecturers to the changes that have to go through, in industry, so that they can be upskilled also. Unemployed learners becoming employable. Okay? There have been definitions on employability or employable, and that is what we're looking at. Unemployed youth engaging in constructive activity. We had these learners who were sitting at home with their matric, maths and science passed, who were sitting at home not knowing what they were going to do with their lives, but now they are going to be something in the future. Closing gap on critical and scarce skills in the country. Okay? Aligned with NSDS 3 strategy and the National Skills Accord. TVET College are serving the needs of the industry. It's not about us, I'm repeating that again, the college. It's about what the industries want. We're training these learners so that they can be employed by these industries. Career guidance to the unemployed youth. We're providing career guidance to these learners. That is very important. Then availability of educated and skilled resources in the labor market. These are the benefits of the partnership projects. And partnerships, and more partnerships for WIL. I thank you.
The University of Johannesburg. Rethink, reinvent.